Thank you, Carlos. Let us move on to the final presentation by Miguel Angel Blanco from the GNU Linux in our project in Argentina.
Bueno, me tocó la última parte.
Good afternoon. Last session, last presentation, the most difficult one. So I will try to be very brief too. So first I would like to explain what gvSIG Def is. It's an ID that's born from a Linux 1000 project. We are trying to find all the application in the free software for military uses. So we have different motivation, different function. Def, we have used that for the army to have technological sovereignty, and thanks to their free software, we can offer this to the army, a knowledge, and to work with that knowledge independently without depending on foreign companies supplying them with this kind of software. There is also another basic principle. We want to change the expense concept in the investment to try to look for another kind of concept. We have gvSIG Def not only including the gvSIG tool as the best tool when we had to decide with which SIG we had to work. We have chosen gvSIG because it's the best tool based on the free software, offering lots of advantages. The language chosen by the developers, the possibility to modify it for any purpose. And we were also very happy with the 2.0 version, with the capacity to integrate new function and to customize it for any organization. But when we started to work, we realized that for the defense sector, it was a bit complex to adapt gvSIG to that sector, because we needed more tools to complete the required cycle through which we could create the node for a new geospatial infrastructure for defense. So we are using free software. What you're going to see here is a version, the 4.5.0 Geo, but instead of being in a live DVD, it has been installed and it is operating. So what are we offering to a defense administration? A complete structure to solve any geographical problems, modification, distribution, and web services. We can sell services with the flexibility of live DOS 2 Geo. So we are mixing live 2 Geo, the different version of gvSIG. So we have a true potential much over any other tool that is coming from any other providers, and we can also manage the content based on Sol and Plum. So we have SOAP and Plum servers. Those contents editors are also using gvSIG for the distribution of their version to inform about events. So this is the institutional portal that gvSIG is using. Apart from that, we have to add the engine server as a very efficient server, much more efficient than the Apache line. So this mix of server integrated platform SIG is offering what others are offering, but here it is fully installed. I have access to the database. I can create services. The database are multiple thanks to the SIG package with the PostGIS, and we also find some development design tools. We are also using Python as a tool for development and for the geo information system. We have a development environment called ERIC. With it, we can develop different applications based on Python. As I was telling you, all the functions from Osteo can be seen here, and we have included a little commando allowing us to launch every application. For example, the institutional portal can be launched from here. For example, the web services. I'm not going to show them all, but for example, GeoServer. And Geo Network, well, just to show you those that are really working very well. So this group of function can allow people without any training in geo information system to interactuate very easily. So for the defense sector, we can offer the possibility to the soldiers to use that software and the geographic information contained in it. Apart from the server, the information is codified and encrypted. So if we access to the server without the information, the authorization, we cannot access to that information because it is fully encrypted. Well, obviously, systems are never 100% safe, but at least people trying to access to that information will find it very hard to read the content. Now, we are going to see the coordination platform that we have built to make sure that different armies and different institutions can interactuate. We have used the Plum content editor, giving us a coordination interface. It's very simple to use. It's very simple to use the cartography available on the internet. To update the cartography is very costly, it's very expensive to contract those technical team on the spot. And at the same time, we have lots of web services available on the internet, giving us an updated information about Google, Map, Bing, and Yahoo, and Street Map. So what we have tried to find is a way to use those resources, and that interface that we see here, that's easily customizable. What we see here, the logo of this conference, but we can put any army logo, any defense institution logo, and we can see now how we can use those tools. For example, we are going to present that content manager as to administer the management of a crisis, of an earthquake. For example, an earthquake that took place in 1968 in San Juan province. To administer and to face a crisis, we need to get some information from the organization, a map of the situation, register of the communication through which we can communicate and manage that crisis. And we have to see how we have access to those free resources on the internet. On one hand, we have the organization. In any crisis, we have to manage a conceptual framework to know exactly the definition of the crisis, if it's an earthquake, a fire, floodings. Well, there are different definitions to take into account. The legal framework, the conceptual framework is giving us the definition of the earthquake, of the catastrophe, and different definition giving us a better overview of this catastrophe in particular. The legal framework is also important. We have to know how a community is organized to face this catastrophe, what is the organization of the firemen, what is the organization of the different services that have to face that catastrophe. If we had to list the resources, well, this tool is very easy to use, because if we wanted to know, well, the different defenses, defense organization that exist in the region, well, we would be able to do it. Here we are using Google Map, allowing us to work with a complete world map, but we can zoom in to focus on the crisis area. And here we see the different defense resources. We have one resource here. We even can get more information, much more complete information. Here, for example, we see the full history, and we can also have, well, the plan of a stadium where the population could go in order to avoid, well, any danger. It's very easy to use. Well, in general, in 15 to 20 minutes, we can get full information for a user that's not computer-wise. So it's very easy to have the geo-reference of these resources. There is also another way to do it, and using more resources, more free resources available on the web. We are here using 2 different resources. So here we have the different resources. Well, with Yahoo Street, I can also use OpenStreetMap. So you see that the marks are staying at the same place, even if I'm changing, well, the different resources. So I'm going from one to the other, but you see that even if you are changing, well, the geo-references, well, we'll still have, well, the same marks, and we see the different resources. To all these points that we have chosen, like, for example, mobile hospital, well, we have full information, basic information, and we can add, well, more information extracted from other files like videos, pictures, with this content editor program. Here we see the information with more details.
Podemos cambiar el recurso y ver la...
We can change the resource, we can skip to another one, and we see that the map is changing, but the points that we have selected are staying exactly at the same place. So here we have a military unit where we have installed a hospital mobile unit, and we still see the resources, we'll see the characteristics, but how can we use that tool? Now, let's take another tool that we can also access very easily. One of the characteristics of this content administrator is that it's very easy to select the user. We can also select which kind of user can have access. We can filter the user according to the content. We can also give some edition permits. And now we are going to load the coordinates. I'm going to geo-reference something. I think that here we are at the Pecina Avenue, right? So I have found the place where we are today on this Pecina Avenue. I click on it and automatically, well, it's an orange point. Well, we won't be able to see it because, well, the city of Valencia is painted in orange. Bad luck. Well, yes, now we see it in detail. Let's zoom in. So I don't know if you see it now, but there is a little orange dot there in the middle. We're going to change, well, the resource, well, in order to view better that orange dots. Now we see, well, the center where we are right now. So any user can find any address, any location around the world. I can put an address in Argentina and we will find it very easily. For example, the military technical high school in Cabildo 15 in Latin America, in Argentina. Yes, this is what I'm looking in Buenos Aires, our capital. We have found the information about that school, that technical school for the army in Argentina. It's very easy to use the different resources. We can also update the available cartography. The armed forces, well, can also update the maps without any problem, and it's free. So you see, well, here I have not only the point on the map, but I also have the coordinates of that point on the map. But I can also have the coordinates of an area, not only a point on the map, but also an area, a complete area on the map. For example, that area is going to be coordinated. We see it here. We see the coordinates. And something else that I can also do, and I think it's interesting, especially for cartography updating. Well, if I mark an area on the map, for example, an area, well, on the river banks, for example. For example, in the area of Buenos Aires Delta, that area is being selected as a flooding area. We save it. It is an area that's likely to suffer floodings. Well, and we are connected in real time with Yahoo Map, and we can download that map with the KLM format. We will save it on our desktop. We will call it jornada.kml, and it is available to be used for any other application. For example, let's have a look at the application that we have at hand. We choose one, we go to File, we open it, we find the file jornada.klm, and you see immediately I can see it on the map, the same area that I had selected before in the content administrator. I saw it through the free resources, and now it can be available in another SIG tool for its further use. That administrator is also allowing other function, because we can also manage any documents. We are distributing software. There is a search engine allowing to find PDF, doc, document, any word that I write in the search engine window will send me directly to the file in question. So if I write a blanco, I will find, if I write white, I will find all the documents where that word is included, and I can use it with different languages. There we have English and Portuguese for a reason that I will explain. So if we use English, we have a Google Translator embedded in that program, translating not only the content but also the functions that will appear with their translation. Well, obviously we can criticize the quality of Google Translator, but at least for our daily work, well, it's helping. It's not perfect, but it's helping. Last thing that I would like to share with you, that gvSIG Def has been presented as a tool that the military conference of Latin American states might be using too. And well, you see, this is an official web page. We have the same functions there, so it has been chosen by that platform. We see that the characteristics that have been loaded here in this website have been developed with gvSIG. And it is, we have chosen a students that have been helping us during 6 months to develop the cartography of the different countries of the different 20 member states and 25 observers. It's a shape cartography. We have 8 themed layers per country: hydrography, roads, lakes and rivers, roads, and I forgot some. 4 political division: country, province, and city. And in some countries we also have a 4th division, like for example in Brazil we have another subdivision. So the gvSIG Def project is working as you have just seen it. We are waiting for the 2.0 version to include it in that project. The use of that free tool is very easy to access, especially for well, the average man, well, allows us to integrate people that are not computer-wise, that are not working in, well, this kind of sector. Well, they can easily use it, and they can use it daily for their daily tasks. So it's very easy. Thank you very much.
Bueno, quiero darles las gracias a todos por habernos acompañado.
Thank you very much for being with us during this long afternoon. I hope to see you tonight at the dinner. If you're not coming, I see you tomorrow morning. Thank you very much and have a nice evening.